On this episode of Local Film Talk, we're chatting with Tom Gore, Michael Ray Williams, and Bill Mulligan about the sizzle reel they made for their upcoming feature film, Blood of the Dragon. To be the first to get this episode and all our other episodes, you can subscribe to the Local Film Talk channel on YouTube. And if you don't have time to watch, you can always subscribe to the Local Film Talk podcast on iTunes. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Local Film Talk. I'm your host, Bob Walters. My co-host, Conrad Arnold, couldn't make it tonight. His text message said he had a Walking Dead party. I believe that means that he was throwing a party where people dress up in zombie costumes and then put their car keys, in a bowl when they first arrive. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and since he's not here to defend himself, that's the story we'll go with. So, not much to take care of at this episode before we go ahead and get started. You'll notice that my picture frames are not on the wall back here. That is because as I was hanging them, one of them broke into a couple different pieces. But fear not, I saved my receipt from Michael's and will be replacing it shortly. So, you can still send us your 11 by 17 posters to be displayed in the back of this episode. Doesn't cost you anything, maybe just a little postage. Look for the address in the show notes. That's where you can send it. Or, of course, you can give it to Conrad or I the next time you see us. And your poster will be displayed in the background here for us to chat about and help promote your project. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Another thing you might notice is these big old bulky headphones I'm wearing. And the reason for that is because this little monster chewed through my earbuds. Of course, that wasn't what she was chewing on when I found her. I just found them lying on the floor in pieces this morning. And when I went to go see what she was up to, she was chewing on my comb. So I got to spend an hour and a half of my morning taking this one to the vet to see what happens when a tiny little dog eats a whole bunch of plastic comb bristles. Spoiler alert, she passes them. I get to look forward to that. So if you're wondering why I look like such a radio goof this episode, you can blame this one. There you go. Be mad at that. Be mad at this. You can't do it. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this episode is a conversation I had with Tom Gore, Michael Ray Williams, and Bill Mulligan, who are three of the principals behind the upcoming feature film Blood of the Dragon. Now, in order to help get promote the film and help kind of proof of concept, raise some money for it, they went ahead and shot this sizzle reel a couple months ago, back in the fall, and put it together. And I thought it was so cool. It's going to be a low-budget indie fantasy movie with dragons and everything, that I decided I had to get these guys in here to talk about how they pulled this thing off and what we could look forward to in the feature. So I also tried to get the sizzle reel and film's director in, Jason Butarin. Unfortunately, he was unavailable. Hopefully the next time we're able to discuss this project, he'll be able to come in and join us. But, Tom and Michael and Bill were able to have a really cool conversation with me. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty funny. We went off on a couple different tangents, and I know you're going to enjoy this one because we had a lot of fun recording it. So without any further ado, and without any other setbacks from this little mongrel, here's my conversation with Tom Gore, Michael Ray Williams, and Bill Mulligan about their sizzle reel for their upcoming project, Blood of the Dragon. Enjoy.
Do we have to introduce ourselves, or does everybody know who we are?
How could they not know who you are?
How could they?
I mean, I'm not even going to refer to you by name. I'm just going to point, and everybody will know.
That's right.
I want to see
the Bill Mulligan. Everyone, I'd like to introduce Bill Mulligan, the Bill Mulligan.
Here in the flesh, no Percocets, no excuses.
Second time actually being on the show, and the first time that we actually get to see you, because last time the whole video feed screwed up. I think it's your fault. I think you have some kind of voodoo witchcraft over the machinery. This time you perfected it. You were able to just screw up Tom's camera and let yours come in. So congratulations on perfecting your dark arts.
Awesome. awesome power. Yeah, gonna get in the Avengers with that one.
Yeah, there you go. The power to scramble people's webcams.
But here's what I look like, ladies. Hope it was worth the wait.
I'm
I hear
excited.
those phones ringing.
King of the Morlocks.
Already.
I'm taken. Sorry.
Yeah. Bill Mulligan, the writer and special effects department for Blood of the Dragon.
I'm hoping not so much the latter, because this kind of goes beyond my comfort zone, which is I can make you look like a zombie. So like, oh, that's a good zombie, Bill. Now go build a dragon. Yeah, that follows.
Right,
Of course, they asked you to write this movie, and you knew you would probably
Yes,
be
they-
the special effects guy, so you wrote in 3 dragons you don't know how to make. Smooth.
Yeah,
Real smooth.
By they, we mean Tom. And Tom's specific instructions was, go big. Money's no object. And look, in my defense, I could have written like an army of dragons, and I didn't until the end. But
Like they did in that movie Reign of Fire. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's
Yes,
supposed to be tons and tons of dragons, and then they ran out of money, so there's like 2 dragons.
we're laughing now, but
There's a
You
ton of
remember in that
dragons
movie
for like
in the-
30 seconds.
In the very end, do you remember during the climax of that movie of Reign of Fire when it's just Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey and Christian Bale and they're fighting the dragon in that whatever that was, like in the abandoned city, and there's one point where Christian Bale is just running through the ruins of the street and he keeps turning around because the dragon's supposed to be chasing him, and every time he turns around and you see the shot of like what he's running from, it's like it's just panning through the landscape, and it's like clearly there was supposed to be a dragon in that shot, but they
Oh, yeah.
ran out of money.
or like we've made zombie movies where we wanted to have an army of zombies, but only 3 people showed up. So there is an army of zombies, but they only attack 3 at a time.
There you go.
So it's like, hey, there's 3 zombies, bang bang. Here's another 3, bang bang. Editing,
That's how
magic.
that's how James Cameron did Aliens, if I remember correctly. He didn't have all that many alien costumes, but he.
The original Star Wars, like the original Episode 4, they only had like 8 stormtroopers at a time. All of the
Really?
all of the big groups and everything were matte paintings and standees.
I can see
Nice.
that. Yeah.
So there you go.
We're gonna matte paint all our dragon sequences.
There we go. How
So
good a
what's
painter
our-
are you, Bill?
I'm telling you, it's a lost art.
And Tom Gore is the producer / actor of the project.
I am one of the actors and one of the producers and one of the brains. I'm probably gonna say part of something of everything.
Okay. And Michael, you are starring in it, right?
I am. I think I might be a producer. I don't know. Tom, am I a producer?
Yes.
Tom, am I a producer?
No.
Wait. Hey, how much change you got in your pocket?
Wait,
Well,
good-
actually, right now I'm in my pajama pants. Something most people might not know about doing podcasts from your home. You know, the camera's only shooting from here up. Pajama pants.
We're
Very
just
cool.
happy you're wearing pants
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, I'm wearing pants. You guys should all be very happy.
Tom's probably not wearing any pants. So
I'm not telling.
Tom's probably not wearing anything. He's probably splayed
Oh.
out on the couch wearing nothing at all. And thank God,
dusting of
thank God you're jamming his camera, Bill.
oh yeah.
So whose idea was it originally? Was it Tom's or was it Jason's?
As I recall, Tom just said to me, "I'd like a fantasy movie. Write a fantasy script." No. Actually, first he said, "Do the A-Team in space."
Yeah.
And I managed to get about.
A-Team in space. That's it.
I
That is a
mentioned
true.
it.
The A-Team in space.
Yeah,
The
I
18
remember that. I remember that being pitched
Yes.
to me initially, and I was like, yeah, all right.
Holy shit.
And I got about 6 pages into that. I got the opening scene, right, the pre-credit sequence, and then all of a sudden he was like, "So how's that fantasy film going?" I'm like, well, "What the hell?" And so somehow the A-Team in space got thrown into the nether regions where every projects go, and now suddenly it was a fantasy thing, and we started tossing stuff back and forth. And I think there were a couple of hooks. One is, I said I want to do low budget. It's a miserable land, just awful thing. And so then I started thinking, why is it so bad? How do we deal with things like magic? What are the rules of the universe? And the thing that occurred to me was, this is a time when magic is dying. It's like it's a natural resource. People have been using it for centuries, and they're running out. It's going away.
They
and it's
are
going to
fracking their magic.
Yes.
and
yeah, they're
ruining the
fracking
land.
the magic. And they just assumed it was always there. It's like a way. It's a kind of energy, one that we no longer have because they used it all up. It's like if they used up all the oil, we would no longer even know that there was such a thing as oil. So, and if magic existed, all economies would be based on magic. Everything would be based on magic because it would be so damn useful. And if it goes away, now suddenly you're left with a world of people who have got to suddenly learn how to grow their own food and depend. The weather's going to do what the weather's going to do. You know, it's so it's been like 100 years now have gone by or so, and things are just miserable. There's little scraps of magic here and there, and the wizards that are left are fighting over what little scraps there are, and that's our bad guy. So then the bad guy becomes obvious. Who's the bad guy? He's the guy who is, you know, keeping himself alive through what little magic is left, killing other magicians, taking it all. I mean, that gives him a decent motivation. He's evil, but he's not evil just because he wants to twirl his mustache. He's staying alive.
He's hoarding all the magic, like Dennis Hopper in
Yeah.
Waterworld.
Yeah, and it all started falling into place. It was just so cool, and a lot of conversations with Tom. It's like, why are they looking for this dragon? If they were dragons, I personally wouldn't go out looking for them. They have no choice. They're under a curse.
Probably a bad idea to go looking for dragons.
Why?
No, actually, that's not true. If there were dragons, Michael and I we'd just like abandon our loved ones and become cryptozoologists and go running out looking for dragons. Yes,
I would
that's
totally
true.
be there too. I would
And
be.
this is how we would die. This would be the story of us. Their bleached bones were found 3 years later by the side of a river. Yeah. So.
Oh, that is the best obituary ever.
Yeah.
You might kill us, Bill.
And
But
it's all.
they have truly lived.
It's all on GoPro found footage to tell our tale.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Bill and Michael, dragon hunters.
Oh God.
Dragon hunters. Yeah.
That's
So you guys had Bill write this script, and you decided to go ahead and make was it 2 or 3 minutes? I forget. It's a little trailer, but you call it a sizzle reel. Tell us a little bit about what that is and why you decided to make it. I guess this one's for Tom since he's the producer.
Trailers are made. There's 2 that are out. There's 3 that are out. One is a joke trailer, and it's really awesome. It's just more or less us having fun and playing with things. There's another one that focuses on the bad guy Sostratos, that's played by PALLBEARERS, who is a truly talented individual and pulls the character off beautifully. The other characters over that 3-day weekend will have their own little teasers that come out as well, and then Jesse Knight, a filmmaker extraordinaire in his own right, assembled the footage for a full master trailer that actually doesn't reveal any of the spoilers of that 3-day filming weekend, and still pulls off all the locations that we were at, all the filming that we got to entice and tease future investors into throwing us money to make this thing happen.
Including, amazingly enough, a dragon.
a dragon.
A dragon.
There is a dragon in this thing, so tell us
A
Tell us
dragon.
a little bit about putting this thing together, Bill. You actually built a dragon for the sizzle reel.
No. No. But I was at I was helping with an anime con, actually a cosplay con, Cosplay America. It's the third one will be, I think I shouldn't say there will be a third one in the Durham area, and these cosplayer prop maker extraordinaire. Is this the okay? Let me get this right. Is this the 501?
Yes.
These folks just do amazing work, and at this cosplay con they had a giant dragon, I would say life size. No one could prove me wrong, because how big is a dragon? The thing from nose to tail is what, 15, 20?
Okay. So I thought you built this puppet, but you actually found somebody who had made it. Okay.
Yeah, which is definitely the easiest way to build a dragon. Find someone.
The easiest way to build a dragon is to go out and find one.
Find someone. Yeah, find some person who actually glue the foam rubber on.
Yeah, they have several videos on YouTube of the dragon. They took it to Dragon Con at some point. It's modeled after Alduin from Skyrim.
Okay. That's really cool. So is it actually animatronic, or how does it work?
Practical puppet. Like, it's actually got people inside it that control everything.
Okay. And they let you guys use it for the sizzle reel.
They did.
They came out and did it for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Which is awesome.
It worked so well. It looked so good on set. It was very impressive.
And as you can tell with the trailer, it totally pulls off.
Right. Now it's in the trailer we just see like a few short glimpses, mostly the head. How much of the dragon is in the puppet?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Head, neck,
There's a
wings,
whole dragon there.
tails. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you were to use it in a movie as an actual dragon, you would have to do. I mean, because that's not what it was built for. It was built for live action display and not to fool people into thinking that's an actual dragon. There would have to be some post production work. You'd have to erase some of the legs and put in skin texture and places and everything. But it will not surprise me if we end up doing at least partly something like that, either using that one or the same techniques to build something like that. I think the smart way to do something like this is to use as many tricks as we can afford. If we can have some CGI, some puppetry, some full-size props, stop motion, whatever.
I really hope that when we see the full dragon in its entirety, it's like two guys like Bill and someone else in a dragon costume, like two guys in a horse costume. Just running across the field. That's the dragon I want to see.
We'll make a special edit of the movie just for you.
There we go.
Tom gets to be the hindquarters because just cause.
Yes!
That dragon's going to be horribly misshapen.
That dragon's a little back heavy. That's why he's not flying that much. Make the wings really tiny and he just runs across the field.
Too much junk in there. Yeah, let's make it like Pete's Dragon.
Well, that's really awesome. Did you get a chance to talk to them about it and some of the techniques they use to make it? Get some tips for when you do have to build your own dragon.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever met him. There's a gentleman, and I cannot remember where in the state he lives, but he does a thing called Dakota, which is a life-size velociraptor. He's made this velociraptor costume, and it's amazing. Except for the fact you see his legs, because velociraptor legs don't look like human legs and they bend the wrong way. But except for them, this thing looks like a real velociraptor. Head control, mouth, everything. And he is very, very generous about showing people how to build the framework and do the scaling and everything for it. And I believe the young woman who made this dragon. Now, I apologize, I do not know her name off the top of my head, that she got advice from him, and I'm sure they would be, the 501 people are extremely generous. I say this about the indie filmmaking community in general, is that there is a great deal of generosity and people willing to work together and share things. It's not all ego-driven. In other words, it's the exact opposite of the real movie industry.
Right. Okay, that's really cool. I've seen those kinds of puppets before with the dinosaurs. I didn't realize there was someone in North Carolina doing that.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get. He's on Facebook. I'll send you his contact. He's a blast to talk to too. This guy's done a million things, and he's boom.
Oh no, I don't want to talk to him. I want to interview the raptor.
Well, that could be arranged.
Just talk to the raptor.
That's what I want to do. I want to interview his raptor.
Oh.
So I want to make a short movie with that raptor, actually. I want to, actually, Tom and Michael, I got an idea. I want to talk to you about it sometime. If we just get a hold of the raptor.
This episode has turned into a brainstorming session now.
Yeah.
A dinosaur with Michael, and it's Bill's idea. I got to see this, because I'm pretty sure it's more Let's Torture Michael movies.
Probably.
Awesome. So
Michael, between Tom or me, who has actually made you suffer more? Oh, he's thinking. He's got to think about it. This is what's said. He's got to think about it.
That's tough, man. Bill, you've got more ticks on the board.
But look,
ticking from my fucking ankles.
Thank you. I don't think making you eat a bar of soap does not equal hanging you up by your ankles from a rope.
Well, let's be fair. It's the bar soap, the rigid cloying on my back, the hawthorn bush. You know,
I had one. Bill has 3. I'm not
Yeah,
even. I'm barely on the board.
It was one
Okay.
really good one. It was
The
one.
things that
I'm
make you
not
do for
really-
your art, man.
I'm not really keeping score because you're both gonna get it whenever I start. So, don't worry.
Oh.
You'll make karma.
So, Michael, tell us about what shooting this trailer was like over 3 days. Where did you guys shoot it? It looked like you were kind of up in the, not quite the mountains, but kind of the foothills area.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The
It was
first
the map.
part of it, our first day, we were filming out at the, what's it called? Kersey Valley in Spooky Woods. It's a big haunted attraction out just, it's outside of High Point. And they have like a corn maze and zip lines and all these crazy cool sets that they've built like over a massive stretch of property. That's where like all the cave footage and stuff we shot there. So we were there for a day.
Is that where that thing that kind of looked like you guys coming up to a gate was shot?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like a town gate? Okay, I was going to ask you, did you have to build that, but that was actually part of this place you were at?
That's a part of Kersey Valley and Spooky Woods. So we were there our first day, and then the second day we were at a piece of property at it's Single Tree. Is that what it's called, Tom?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's basically this like rustic bed and breakfast kind of place. It's out. The property borders Hanging Rock State Park. I don't know how many what their acreage is. I know it's massive, a massive amount of property, and they have all these cabins that are stretched out over the property. And we were fortunate enough to be given permission to come out there and shoot for all of our outdoor stuff, which it definitely looked like we were in some
Not America.
out of America kind of it was gorgeous, the river that runs there and how the topography, we were in this definitely like mountainous region. It was just really, really, really cool.
Okay. So, when did you guys shoot? Was it the winter?
Yeah, it was cold.
Okay. It looked cold.
November, I think. Was it November?
It was
I think
November.
so.
Yeah, I think it was the first weekend of November, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you guys, obviously this is a proof of concept, just to kind of show people what you can do. You got your dragon and everything. You found these locations that kind of made for sets that fit into the mood you're looking for. I guess I'll gear this one towards Tom because I kind of know where the answer comes from. But talk a little bit about costuming, because those are some pretty epic costumes to throw together. You made a lot of those yourself, didn't you, Tom?
Mine I made myself. Michael's, he coordinated.
No, just for a second. Tom made his own chain link armor in his garage. That is awesome.
Out of beer tabs.
Go on, Tom. What were you saying?
It's held together with like hopes and dreams. So it'll fall apart soon. Michael's was pretty fairly simple for him to get because hey, just make me look like an archer.
Okay.
There's plenty of references in modern for him to acquire all these pieces. Rom, Shane Terry's character Rom was very stereotypical. How do we make this guy look like a fighting monk? And it was very much drawn up between Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Kung Fu, the David Carradine, to try to come up with some type of wardrobe for him to come through. So Stratos, we went with the very simple, every villain from the every 80s fantasy movie line, where they're almost interchangeable.
Torn.
Malik.
Okay. Okay. You need him to have like one of those goat skulls on his head, or like the ram's horns or something. Make it 80s
Proof of
as hell.
concept. That's coming.
Yeah.
So did you have to put together? Was this kind of a volunteer labor of love thing, or did you guys actually get some funding together to shoot the sizzle reel?
All the money that we got went to food.
Army travels on his stomach.
Do you guys have a like a time frame for like getting this feature film into production?
We're going to start filming next summer.
Okay, so summer 2017. I got a note here from one of our viewers, Christopher Moore.
Hey,
He wanted to
Christopher.
remind me that it was the 105th squad that made the dragon, and specifically Maggie
right.
Bennett was the one who created it.
Thank you so much. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Christopher
When we
Moore,
said
the
the 501
encyclopedia of our group. He's my mod. He's my mod from now on.
in fairness, the 501 is the 105th if you're dyslexic.
There you go. It's a yeah, don't mock his handicap, Christopher.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
but
man.
Christopher,
Not very inclusive.
thank you for getting that, because they deserve tremendous credit, and they do fantastic work. I mean, I would love to work with folks.
Right. Yeah, and people should definitely check this trailer out. I don't know if I'll if I'll be able to sneak it into the beginning of the episode or something, but if not, there will definitely be a link in the show notes for people to go and check it out, because it is a cool looking trailer. Low budget sci-fi, or not sci-fi, but low budget fantasy is not something you really see a whole lot of, and I'm kind of especially when you try to have like big ambitions, which like you said, Bill, money was no object when you wrote this script.
But I tried to keep it doable, not armies. Well, I figure the sequel will have a budget, so the sequel is going to be like Blood of a Dragon 2, Army of Dragons. That's it. They're right there, Army of Dragons. You heard it here first,
Let's
ladies.
make that difficult.
Hallelujah, it's raining dragons.
Yeah, I figured by then we'll actually have a dragon, so we can just like make lots and lots of copies of it and just put it in. So yeah, Army of Dragons.
And by that you mean by then we will be able to clone dragons, and you will have a pet dragon. There will be a dragon wrangler, like an animal wrangler. They'll have the dragon, and it'll be like, all right, we need the dragon to like snap at the guy. He's not doing it. Give him a treat. Come on. You told me he could do it. We're burning daylight here. Make the dragon do the thing.
If science came to me and said, hey, we got a choice, we can either actually cure death, or we can use all those resources to make actual pet dragons, I'd be like, you get working on those dragons, science boy.
Rather than cure death, we'll just make a shitload more death.
Yeah. A long life without dragons is not superior to a shorter life with dragons. So yeah,
Dragon
it'd be
death.
great.
Great obituary. Dragon death. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bill is going to be one of those people who has a pet orangutan, and they find the person like mauled by the animal one day. It's like Bill was just found one day completely burnt to a crisp because the dragon pooped in the living room, so he smacked it, so it set him on fire.
Yeah. Actually, I've got 7 cats, so my obituary is, when the neighbors complained about the smell, police broke down the door and found the partially devoured remains, ... So there you go. 7 fat, happy cats.
So I gotta ask, getting back to the making of the actual sizzle reel, I'm curious about this because we were talking trailers in the pre-show, which will probably not be part of the actual episode, but we were talking a lot about trailers and what goes into putting them together. And of course, usually when someone is making a trailer for a movie, the whole movie has been shot, and they get to pick what shots they want for that. In this case, you're just doing a proof of concept sizzle reel. Is this just supposed to be the vibe of what the movie's going to be, or are these actually things you plucked from the script to film? And if so, how did you decide what to shoot?
I think it was more the vibe. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
More the vibe.
Okay.
We wanted to capture sort of a feel and give sort of an essence as to some of the events that might take place, but it's not necessarily reflective of the biggest thing is, about Sostratos needing to bathe in the blood of the dragon. That's the big. But you don't know anything else about the story, from the sizzle reel, and there's a lot more to it than that. I definitely think that the proof of concept is just that. It's proof of this concept, and hey, we can look what we can do with no money.
Right.
Because so many people say, I'm going to make a movie.
$1,000.
Yeah. People say, "I want to make a movie. Give me money," and you're like, and nothing ever happens. And you know, just to show, no, we're not just we're not just joking here. The people who are behind this they've got a lot of movies, award-winning movies. I mean,
Tom spent months in his garage sewing Coke bottle tabs together.
Yes, he did. That's the kind of can-do attitude that we'll bring to this movie.
So
now, I would think maybe the next thing to do would be, and I wish Jason were here. I mean, we've talked a little bit about this, to perhaps then pick an actual scene, a sequence, something a little more substantial, something that we can do, almost film it as though we were doing a short movie, but is actually part of the larger whole. Film that, and then it's like, yes, this is really what it'll look like. Color corrected, edited, a little bit of magic, a little bit of this and that, not giving anything away. Maybe the pre-credit sequence. I'm boring Michael to tears.
I was about to ask you, do you have a particular scene in mind?
I just talking things over and everything. I just kind of whipped out a pre-credit sequence that focused on the villain, because it occurred to me that it takes a little while in the script before we really see him do something truly villainous.
Being a villain, yeah.
Yeah, and heroes are only as good as their villain.
That's a good
right.
It's one of the complaints I have about some of the superhero movies, is that the villain is not sufficiently a threat to make the hero a hero.
Right. And a lame villain can even just completely derail your entire third act. So a good villain is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Green Lantern's villain.
Yes. Good example. Good example of a bad example.
So real quick, let's go Bill and then Tom and then Michael. What was your favorite part of shooting the sizzle reel, and what was the most difficult part? Start with Bill.
My favorite part, I missed, unfortunately, the stuff at Spooky Woods. I got there at virtually the very, very end, so I missed the dragon. I missed all the cool stuff. So that's the hardest part.
You missed the dragon?
I missed the dragon. I know. It was unavoidable. It was unavoidable. I had to do some school-related stuff. I had, got to do blah blah.
The special effects guy wasn't there for the dragon part.
Well, no, but there was a special effects guy there, Joe Harp, who hopefully would be involved in the larger project too. So yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean, my favorite part was just being at that bed and breakfast, and the people who own it are lovely folks. Just such a beautiful. It reminds me of upstate New York, where I'm from. Being in the mountains, the woods, the river. I mean, you walk 50 yards in one direction, and there's just something. It's like, oh my God, look at that tree. You got to put that in there. North Carolina just has so much natural beauty, so much variety. There's an embarrassment of riches to film there.
Well, the variety is key. You can think of a setting you need, and you can probably find somewhere that'll match that. So that really helps out no matter what you need. If you need swamplands, if you need mountains, if you need caves, if you need a big lake or something, you can find it somewhere. We may have to drive a while to get there.
We may. I'm sure we will. We will. This is a quest movie, so they can't be walking by the same rock like the Lone Ranger did every.
Right.
There's gotta be some variety in there.
Yeah. Hey, isn't that Pilot Mountain in the background in every single shot?
Yes.
Sure is.
So what was the most difficult thing, Bill?
I had to do. There's a character. I mean, you'd have to look to see him, but there was a guy who's dressed up as a pig man. So we had a prosthetic pig face that went over his, and that took a while to put on.
Oh, okay.
And they would be one of the monsters in. There's monsters in this universe too, and pigmen are kind of like the absolute bottom of the totem pole. Pigmen are there's pigmen, there's orcs, yeah, but nobody likes pigmen.
Why would
you actually sometimes you end up eating them. So
they're made of bacon. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a huge disadvantage of. I wouldn't be surprised if pigmen are always very standoffish, because they're probably looking at you going, "Are you sizing me up?
Yeah.
Are you looking at me and thinking bacon? Screw you."
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Pigmen. I can't wait to see that. Tom, what was your favorite part, and what was the most difficult part of shooting the sizzle reel for you?
My favorite part was kicking Brock in the face over and over and over again. I love being able just to distribute pain and punishment on someone.
Take 30? I want to feel it this time.
In all seriousness, the stunt choreography truly was the fun part. Just going through it, making sure that it comes out right and that it's usable. That definitely takes a special type of eye, because sometimes, oh, it looks great. No, that's ugly footage.
Yeah, that happens. That fake punch missed him by about 1.5 feet, and you can tell in the shot. Got to redo it. So would you say the fight choreography was also the most difficult part, or was there something else that that was really taxing?
The most taxing thing for me was my boots. They were the wrong size.
Oh, that's bad.
Yes.
And when you remedy that for the feature.
And when you're walking in the woods and you have the wrong size boots on, it is not pleasant. That was the most difficult thing for me. And I've been wearing boots.
Tom is not acting grouchy in that trailer. He's just pissed because his feet hurt.
Yep. And I
honestly just thought you said boobs, and I was like, what?
Get your head out of the gutter, Phil.
Boots make sense. Yeah.
Man boobs.
Man boobs.
Yeah. The armor, you made the armor, but it was too small on the man boobs, and that was chafing. I can see why that would be difficult as well.
Oh, no, just the boots. The armor is fine.
Comfortable footwear is key in any production, especially when they're doing a lot of hiking.
Oh yeah.
That's why those all those hobbits in their bare feet are always so morose.
Yeah.
So how about you, Michael? Best part and most difficult part of the shoot?
The best part was probably just actually doing it. We have all been working together for a long time, and this project we've been kicking dust up about it for a while, and just going from the process, looking back to our first time we got together and talked about it, to me working with my costumer and seeing the costume being made, and then us all getting there and actually putting the costume on and actually doing it that. I love doing it. I love the work, and that to me just the notion of being able to get together with this fantastic group of really talented people and do this. I can't pick a single part from the whole thing. It's just I just love doing it so much. The worst part is having to wait now, that it's just a teaser, that it's just if I had it my way, I'd make movies for 8 hours a day every day, and the notion of having to be patient and breathe deep and dig in and do the tedious work to get the foundation down, that to me is the worst part about it. But it's also
it gets worse every day too.
It does. The further you get into it, it becomes that much more nagging at you. But it's also humbling and keeps me sort of in check in a way. It's one of my weaknesses, I guess, my impatience. So yeah, I love doing it and don't ever want to stop doing it.
Okay. Well, I think it's a really cool sizzle reel, guys, and like you said, you've been getting pretty good feedback so far. I hope everybody who watches this episode goes and checks it out and sends you some positive feedback, and who knows? Hopefully, all that will help feed into to getting some funding. Are you guys planning on because I know a lot of you go around to different film festivals and conventions and stuff. Are you planning on maybe getting a booth and showing the trailer and talking about some of that stuff? That'd be cool.
We've been doing that. We had a booth up for Mysticon.
Oh yeah? How'd that go?
Virginia. It went great. We got a lot of positive feedback from that. So it's not that it's an unwanted project. It's a wanted project. It's just getting the right people with the right money to say, here's the check.
Right. Well, hopefully you're building up some momentum.
It's hard to find those money people because the folks we tend to see are other filmmakers. So it's I send them $25 for their project, and they send them $25 for mine. And really, when you think about it, we should have just saved ourselves the money. And, it's.
And at the end of the day, you guys are just wasting money on postage.
Yeah. So, but if there are folks out there, I hope that there are folks out there who would like to be a part of it. and can. I think obviously we're going to need a budget, but any budget we're realistically likely to get would not be enough. It was going to really require a lot of folks, people who are into fantasy, into the Ren Fair stuff and everything. I mean, we want to pick the brains of everyone who wants to be part of what I think would end up really being a really cool movie. And you know, there's a lot you could, if you want to do indie films, there are projects going on every weekend of varying degrees of how good they'll be. I mean, if someone if Christopher Moore ever calls me up and says, "Hey, we're doing something this weekend," oh, I'm right on that because I know it's going to be great. You know, everything he touches ends up being great. And then there's other folks, you never hear about it again. I don't know, it's still being edited. But you know,
Not gonna name it.
Yeah, the people who are doing this have a record. Have a record of really, you know, Jason, Tom, Michael, award-winning stuff. Thank you.
Well, and the neat thing about it is that, you know, even though, you know, like you said, low-budget fantasy is kind of an oxymoron, at the same time, like you alluded to, there are communities out there of people who are, you know, not just into that idea, but like people at Renaissance festivals who, you know, I mean, on the plus side, you can probably go out and find 20 or 30 people who have, you know, made costumes and everything and will grow their hair out long and everything, and who love going to these fairs and cosplaying and everything. And so it can be expensive, but at the same time, there are people out there who kind of already have a lot of that stuff in place and would probably love to be a part of a project like that.
Yeah.
All of our guys in the trailer that we killed were all just such people. They're all from the North Carolina Renaissance Festival.
That's right.
Their costumes
who were some of those folks? Christopher Jones was one of them. I know that.
Trey Martin.
Yeah, Trey Martin.
Yeah, good people.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, cool, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about this. And you know, I'm happy to help spread the word about a project like this, because it's cool to see. You know, a lot of times when you think of the indie film scene, you think somebody says, "I'm making an indie movie," and you're like, "Oh, okay, 2 or 3 20-somethings sitting around in an apartment talking to each other." You guys are going to have archers and dragons and barbarians and and all that wonderful expensive
sorcerers and elves and
pigmen,
swamp wit.
Tom, did you mention Queen? Who would be the queen of the elves?
Yes, we do have Judith O'Day as the Queen of the Elves.
Ah, okay.
From the original Night of the Living Dead, an incredibly articulate, intelligent. You don't get the sense, you don't realize from just watching the role that she's most famous for, just how amazing this woman is, and still looks beautiful. And would be an absolute amazing Queen of the Elves. She would be. Yeah, and she liked the script. Yay! So
there you go. It's a big thumbs up for Bill's script.
Thank you. Yes.
Awesome. Well, is there anything, you know, if people, you know, obviously in the show notes we got a link to the trailer. Where else can people find out more about this project? Website, Facebook page, Twitter, all that stuff.
The Facebook page is definitely where we've been posting a lot. Tom, do we have the domain yet?
Jason has it, and he's busy.
Yeah, it's his wife's birthday.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything on the... We do have a domain, though, for Blood of the Dragon. I just don't think anything has been uploaded to it now, but the Facebook page is where we've been posting the bulk of everything for the time being, and we'll continue to do so. And then once the actual website's up, I'm sure we'll link it there as well.
That's www.Derrgen Blerrd. DE 6 R's.
Derrgen Blerrd. I don't know who started that, but yeah.
I gotta be honest, the first time I ever heard about the project, Tom was telling me about it, and he just kept saying Derrgen Blerrd. And when I finally, the third time I talked to him about it, and he actually said the name of the project is Blood of the Dragon, I said, "Oh, that's Derrgen Blerrd."
Well, that's the Swedish version. Is Derrgen
Blerrd.
Also, you have also signed the Swedish chef to do the narration for the movie, the big score.
This is how far ahead we are. They actually were joking when we get the DVD. Okay, yeah, when we get the DVD, there's going to be a commentary track that is nothing but probably Michael and Tom and me and Jason just Derrgen Blerrd. Yeah. Which will be really funny for 30 seconds, and it'll go on for an hour and a half. But
no, we'll just make sure we turn it into a drinking game, and that way it won't matter.
There you go. Yeah. Oh man, you can go on YouTube and find a 10-hour Nyan Cat loop. So I'm sure 90 minutes of Derrgen Blerrd is not gonna upset anybody.
There's a song already.
What?
A Derrgen Blerrd song?
Oh yes.
Well, I mean, I'd ask you to sing it, but since your camera's not working, we can't see the dance choreography that I'm sure there is that goes along with it. So,
we're gonna save that for the special features.
Yeah, it's actually an interpretive dance, right? You do the whole thing in a unitard.
The specialist feature I can think of.
Thing is, we're all wearing unitards.
Nice. That's what we call an Easter egg, folks.
Tom's character rolls in on the short wagon.
Well, listen, guys, it's been great chatting with you, and I'm looking forward to we just lost Michael. There's Michael again.
Yeah, that was a terrifying picture.
Technology. It screws us sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, thank you guys for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I'm excited to see where this project goes because it's different, and you got a great cast and crew, it looks like. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So thanks for chatting with me. Everybody out there, of course, you can check out the trailer. It's on Vimeo. We'll have a link in the show notes. You should check out the Blood of the Dragon Facebook page. And, of course, here at Local Film Talk, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the episodes first. Subscribe to the podcast if you want to listen to them while you're jogging or doing some menial yard work or something. And follow us on Twitter at localfilmtalk.com. And you can email us with questions, comments, or hateful whatever at localfilmtalk@gmail.com. But this has been another episode of Local Film Talk. Thank you to Michael Ray Williams, Bill Mulligan, and Tom Gore for chatting with me. Happy birthday to Jason Buterin's wife, and we will see you guys next week.